Okay. Well, that's that. As Mark Bailey mentioned at I think his opening remarks, that this symposium really, that the seeds were sown in the conference in Portsmouth, which was in 2006. Myself and Mark were sitting at a coffee break. I think he had been tasked by possibly the Royal Irish Academy at the time to do something about light pollution. And we thought, maybe we'll do a conference in a few years' time. That evening, when Friedel saw I had had a couple of drinks, decided it would be a good idea to ask me to run the next one. And I said no. And then he asked me again. I said no. And eventually for 2009, I said, okay, if you'll stop asking me, we'll go and organise one. And I was reminded recently by Terry Mosley of the original email I sent to himself and Mark Bailey, which was, do either of you fancy running a light pollution conference? ? Smiley. But here we are. There were complicated answers. So I've a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, the feedback forms are on that table and on the table outside. We really would appreciate if you could fill these in for us. It really helps for the observatory and helps for funding with the DSE and everything. If you can tell us, good, bad, indifferent, please let us know and fill in one of those forms. The public lecture this evening by Don Polacco on exoplanets, that has been held in Armagh Planetarium. It's not here. Or the observatory, it's in the planetarium. If you're unsure of how to get there, you can ask myself or Mark after this talk, and it's on all the maps of Armagh City that they have a reception as well. And the conference dinner then is back in Armagh City Hotel, which is back out this way again. But again, we'll show you where that is on a map if you're unsure. I'm not going to try and summarise this symposium. The breadth and depth shown by the speakers here was quite extraordinary. And it was beyond what I even expected that would be covered, and certainly in the detail of what some of the speakers have done in research and the breadth of topics that we were able to cover and show how pervasive light pollution is and the effects it has. So I would like to, rather than try and summarise, just to thank all the speakers once again for their contributions. So a round of applause for the speakers, please. On regards to the symposium, I think one of our goals was to really reach out to as many people as we could. We've got quite a bit of coverage online in the press and certainly nationally and locally around the press in the north. And I think that was shown by, we had a full house here yesterday. We had almost a full house for Leo's lecture when he almost ruined my laptop the other night. And there was a full house in Dublin also. So there was some overlap, but that's about 300 people who have heard something about this conference and attended some part of it, which is quite phenomenal, really. And in addition to the public, we really have to thank Robert Hill for his work with, and of course all the teachers and students for the educational component we've had, which I think is something novel that hasn't been explored in previous symposiums, and hopefully it is something that will be looked into in future, perhaps through some of Connie's work. Right, that's the end of that one. Now the thank yous. So sorry about this, it might go on for a while. Personally, I have to thank Min, who's my wife over there, one, for putting up with this for the last couple of years, and secondly, for all her technical support in swapping microphones, laptops, and generally letting me appear to be in two places at once this weekend. That was very much appreciated. People who... There are some people who you probably haven't seen all weekend. But without them, this microphone wouldn't work. That laptop probably wouldn't work. The audio conferencing last night certainly wouldn't have worked. So we have Kyle, Sean Paul and Shane work for the marketplace, and Rodney Ellis as well as, I guess, the manager, who have taken care of all the technical issues here, our lighting, sound, making it all happen. Gary Albin also works with, I think, our Mass City Council for our internet access and really making sure that things worked yesterday. And we have James McBoyle up there, who has been looking after the videoing. Also been in two places at once today, I noticed. And Friedel Pass. Friedel's got a few thank yous, but we'll give him another one, for managing the Second Life virtual conference. So if we could give a round of applause to both those speakers as well. Kim mentioned some of us by name just now for recognition. There were a lot more people involved than got awards there. There's Mark, myself, obviously, Terry Tullis, who gave a talk earlier on, Angela O'Connell, Dave Grennan, who was taking the pictures here for us because we sent the photographer home, Colm O'Brien, who wasn't actually able to be with us. Colm started ILPAC back, I think, about 1999, way before I got involved with it, who was not really interested in astronomy at all. He came to light pollution, and ILPAC was founded on this purely on energy waste. That was the only aspect we have. We later came to the astronomers. Robert Hill I've already mentioned for his education help, and Maruna for looking after the primary school students yesterday, and the singing and the music and all that happened that took me by surprise even when I left the hall. I may have forgotten some people. My apologies if I've forgotten any of the people on the local committee. Internationally, I want to thank Friedel again for his help, and also Kim Patton, who has been really helpful in just keeping us all sane and helping to manage some of the international aspects, and for her help through the IDA. I don't have our website on this slide, but it's lightpollution2009.eu. Hopefully that's easier to remember. We will put a link up to next year's conference for those of you who are confused about the URL. We will also have the presentations in a PDF format and video recordings of the symposium. Give us a week or two on that. We need a break, but they will be there, and we will send an email out to let you know. Finally, I just want to thank our sponsors. Some of them mentioned in the recognition. Discover Science and Engineering made this event possible. It's as simple as that. Their effort was matched by Armagh Observatory with Mark Bailey. Without the observatory, this event would not have happened, both through their funding, their expertise, being able to handle things on the ground in Armagh. So I'm from Dublin, which is about a 2 hours drive away. They have been invaluable to us. I'm just going to list some of the other sponsors that we have on the front of the booklet, just for completeness. IFAS, Michael O'Connell, I think, is around here from the Irish Federation of Astronomical Societies, the umbrella group of most of the astronomy clubs in Ireland. The Campaign for Dark Skies, the British Astronomical Association. The Northern Ireland Space Office, I think, is one of Robert's hats. The Royal Irish Academy for organising everything in Dublin for us, including getting the Minister for the Environment to speak and listen to some of our talk. The Irish Astronomical Association, that's really Terry, some of the posters here. He's been, we wouldn't have been able to do things locally without him, particularly the visit to the Stone Circle and the meals yesterday. The Irish Astronomical Society, Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure in Northern Ireland, ILPAC, that's me, the Irish Light Pollution Awareness Campaign, so we're the Irish section of the IDA. Armagh Planetarium, you'll find out about what they've been doing, what they're about later on at Don Palaco's talk. The International Dark Sky Association, and also Astronomy Ireland. We have Dave Moore and Dave Grennan here representing them, who have helped out with a lot of the material you've seen. So hopefully I haven't forgotten too many people. My sincere apologies if I have. I would just like to thank all the organising committee once again, all the speakers, the students, all of you, the attendees who are here, and I hope you have a very safe trip home, and I hope you all enjoy your trip to Hungary next year. And now Terry's going to remind me of people I've forgotten.
Just one, I think, in particular, Aileen Donegan from Armagh Observatory, who did an awful lot of work behind the scenes and helped with the registration. And I think also we should all acknowledge the caterers who did very, very good meals for us, both here and at Bregan. So I particularly would like to mention that.
Yep, definitely. Okay, well, safe home. I hope you enjoy the conference next year. I will see, hopefully, most of you at the planetarium later, and also at the dinner, and perhaps for a beverage or two after that. Thank you very much for attending.